recording now. So we just had a question from one of our students, one of your classmates, saying, if I can't attend the whole session, can I watch a video? And this is a video from last week, and I do send them out. They're pretty raw, so but bear with them. But you can turn on subtitles, and you can play the review session back. Look under announcements, and I also usually send it out as an email. So it should be in both of those places for you to watch. Okay.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
You betcha.
Okay, thank you. Have a good one.
All right, you take care. And
Take care.
homework chapter 2 tonight. And
Mhm.
you have tomorrow night you have your quiz. So I'm
Mhm.
going to share my screen again with you guys. So welcome. And who is iPhone?
Oh, that's me. I'm about to leave. No worries.
Oh, okay. Okay.
No worries.
Ishani, do you have any specific questions? Ishani, are you there?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yay.
Oh, you can hear me now. Okay.
Do you have
So I
specific?
had questions about accumulated depreciation. I couldn't really understand that part.
Awesome. Well, let's bring up, I'm going to bring up the course pack because that's the easiest to work with.
Because I was also doing the homework, and I think question 1 mentioned that it comes under property, plant and equipment. So I didn't understand how exactly.
Okay.
Also,
I want to bring up a sample balance sheet because I think it's easy to look at the actual data. This is also in your textbook. I'm going to show you where it is there as well. But I
okay.
like this one because it's original.
Also, I'm allowed to do the homework once more time to get my grade up, right?
I think you get 3 attempts. I think on
Okay.
the last attempt you lose 5%.
Okay, got it.
But it's not, do this. Here we go. Okay, here's an example, and then I want to open up the textbook also. Just get rid of that. So let's go online. So as you guys know, you go to your class home setting. And then you go to find your textbook. We go to the sidebar and we go to Wiley Course Resources. So we're going to click on that. And then move my camera so hopefully you can see me better. Then we launch our textbook. Can you guys see can you see this, Ishani?
Yeah,
okay.
I can.
Want to make sure. And hang on just a sec. I want to make sure. Oh, no, that camera's not going to work for us. It's a little better. Okay. Okay. So you come over here and you find your chapter 1. We're on chapter 2. Open it up. And there's a great example in your textbook. And I use this example all the time. And it's the Franklin. Let's go back. Oh, no, there was it. I had it. Franklin balance sheet. I'm going to reduce the size so we can get it mostly on one page. Okay. I love this example. I love this example because it's got the classified sections: current assets, long-term investments, property, plant, and equipment, intangible assets, current liabilities, long-term liabilities, stockholders' equity. Okay. And then I want to go back to the course pack, which is somewhere. Let's see if we can find it. Okay. Course pack is organized similarly: current assets, long-term investments, property, plant, and equipment, intangible assets, total assets, current liabilities, long-term liabilities.
Oh, okay.
They're all examples for you. But go ahead with your question.
Yeah, so I don't understand how it comes under property, plant, and equipment because isn't it shouldn't it be a long-term liability technically?
So tell me what you're asking about accumulated depreciation, right?
Yes.
Okay, so this is a little bit advanced concept. We dig into it more in chapter 4, but I think they're just throwing it at students so they get used to it because it always is here. Now, the odd thing about this asset is it's listed as a negative. And remember, when we do negatives in accounting, we put parentheses around it. That's just custom. It's for people that look at a lot of data all the time, and so it stands out more than a little minus sign. Okay, so assets, all these numbers are positive except for accumulated depreciation. So why? Because what we're doing is we're saying buildings, equipments, furniture, those 3 assets have a limited life. Okay, land does not. Land will be here for millennia, but buildings, equipment, and store fixtures, furniture, maybe what? A building, maybe 30, 50 years without anybody doing anything to it and repairing it and upgrading it. Equipment will have a 5-year life, maybe 7 years. Furniture, sometimes 20 to 30 years. So what happens is if you own a piece of furniture or equipment that's 5 years old and it's got a 7-year life, it doesn't have as much value. And so we use the language, we're writing it down. And we will actually make a journal entry when we write it down. We're going to learn that in chapter 4. But we track how much we've written it down, these assets, in an account called accumulated depreciation. And yes, it's shown as a negative. Because what it's saying is, if you add up 150, 15,000, and 27,000, you would get 192,000. That's its original value of those 3 assets, but we want you to know we've actually written these assets down 72,000. So the net value of these assets is lower. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
So it's not a liability, even though it's shown as a negative. It's what we call a contra. Contra is against. If I'm contrary, I'm not agreeing with you, a contra asset. So normally assets are shown as positive, but this is a contra asset, so it's shown as negative, and it's so that we can write down those equipment and furniture and buildings. So
Okay, that makes sense.
and then let's see if I can do share. Now, which balance sheet do you see right now?
It's the REIT sports.
Okay, so let's see if I go back to the other one. Now we're going back. So they're very similar, and they're meant to be very similar just to get you used to looking at them. So here we have equipment. We only had one account here that is depreciated. Equipment, 24,000, less accumulated depreciation, 5,000. And this 19,000 is what we call its net book value after we've subtracted how much we've depreciated it.
Okay, and this will always be given to us. We wouldn't have to calculate it, right?
For the first exam, yes. In chapter 4, we start figuring out how we depreciate assets. So for example, if you had an asset that you bought a piece of equipment for $100,000, and I told you it had a 5-year life, and I want you to depreciate it every year, how much would you depreciate it?
I don't know how to calculate that right now.
But what would you calculate? You don't have to do the calculation, but what would you calculate?
I would calculate the depreciation.
So you have an original cost of $100,000.
Okay.
And you have a 5-year life. How much would you depreciate each year? Well, I mean, you can guess, you can invent your own system here. What would you think would be a good way to write it down?
I'm sorry, I can't understand the question.
That's okay. We'll talk about it more in chapter 4. But essentially, if you have a piece of an asset that depreciates, like a car, nice car for 100,000. One way to depreciate it would be to just say 5-year life. I'll divide 5 into 100,000 and I'll depreciate it 20,000 a year until it's
Oh, okay.
fully
Yeah.
depreciated. So that'd be one way. So that's what I was talking about. So if you did just equal, now with a car, it's tricky because you might drive more in some years and drive less in others. So, all right. So back to chapter 2.
Okay.
Is there anything on this list you want to go over? So this,
No, that was the only question I had.
okay.
And then, yeah. Well, what is materiality under relevance? That's another.
Materiality or cost constraint. So a lot of times we have and this is a good example that you were just asking about. You were asking about depreciation and equipment. And so if I buy a piece of equipment and it has a 5-year life, let's go back to the balance sheet. Where are you, balance sheet? Let's go back to the balance sheet. If I buy a piece of equipment and it has a more than 1-year life, it's going to go under property, plant, and equipment. I use it for the company. I use it to make products, or I use it, let's say it's a delivery van and we drive around in it. Okay. Here, if it's a current asset, it means I use it up in 1 year.
Okay.
Okay. So materiality. So let's say I buy all my managers really expensive pens, ink pens to sign with. Okay. And you can spend a lot of money buying fancy pens. Cost of a fancy pen. Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just guessing. They're not as expensive as they used to be. Here's one for $75. Here's one for $133. Okay. That's expensive. To me, that's a lot to pay for a pen.
That's
Okay.
true.
And especially since I lose pens all the time. So $133, I'm going to have all my managers, it's going to be engraved with their name on it. It's going to be so beautiful. Oh, wait a minute. Here's one for $395. Let's get this pen for our managers and we'll have their names on them. And, but it's a small pen, right?
Right.
And let's say I'm Microsoft. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Now, these pens can last forever, right? We're going to say, oh, they'll last for years and years and years. Okay. Well,
Okay.
sure, they'll last for years and years and years. So let's go back to the balance sheet. My managers are using them. They're going to get rid of that. My managers are using them and they keep using them for years and years and years. And let's see, let me see that share. Okay. Well, if it has a life of more than 1 year, that pen should be down here in property, plant, and equipment under equipment.
Right.
But because I'm Microsoft and my criteria for putting something into property, plant, and equipment is it has to be at least $1,000 because it's not worth the trouble to track small items. Even though technically I could, legally I could, it would be in accordance with the standards, the generally accepted accounting principles, all of that. So materiality says I don't have to set it up as equipment because it's not going to change a decision. So instead of charging it to equipment, I'm just going to charge it to supplies expense and write it off right away because it's immaterial. So we look at the cost of an item and the benefits. Why is it worthwhile to track it? Will it help us make decisions? No, it's a real small item for Microsoft, not for you and me to buy a $400 pen, but for Microsoft, it would be. So they're saying it's not material. We're just going to write it off. And we certainly don't want a whole bunch of accountants running around and tracking pens all day long. That's not what we care about. Okay. We're just gonna write it off as a gift expense to our executives. So it's just about weighing whether it's worthwhile to disclose something and track it and report it, or it's just easier to write it off. And companies have to be consistent about what they call material. They can't just do it here and not tomorrow. They have to be consistent. They have to have a procedure for it.
Okay.
So how comfortable are you with all of these accounts is my question.
If you tell me to make a whole entire balance sheet by myself, I might face a lot of troubles at first. But
Well,
if
I'm
I have like
hoping by the exam, you'll be ready to do that.
for the exam, we'll
Yeah.
have to write a balance sheet.
Oh, yeah, you have to know the statements, yeah.
But then would it be like like how it is in the homework where we have to like fill in some boxes or just make a whole entire one from scratch?
No, it'll be a blank page. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So it's real important you understand each section. And so what I tell students is I say, make a flashcard for all these accounts and say current assets and balance sheet so you know where they go. Make flashcards for these accounts, and just keep track of them. Every time you learn a new account, just grab, there's one. I don't know if you guys can see this. Can you see this?
Yeah, I can see it.
Cash, and then on the other side, it's an asset, and I would say current asset. Like that, current asset balance sheet. So you're just ready and being able
Sure.
to know where things go. Now, this also says debit. We're going to talk about debits and credits in chapter 3. So,
Okay.
but the biggest thing, the best thing you can do for yourself is just do that drill on what is an account and keep those flashcards. And then in chapter 3, we're going to add debit or credit. And
Okay.
do that.
Yeah, I didn't know we had to make a whole entire balance sheet, but now that I know that, I'll practice it more.
Yeah. So on your homework, let's see. What did I want to show you? Practice problem. Let's see what I have here. Hang on a sec. I'm going to grab my book.
Would we also have to make an income statement and the retained earnings statements too
Now
then?
you should know how to do all of those statements. So
Even the cash flow one?
no, not cash flow. Thanks for asking on that one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I really like it's on in chapter 3. That would not be fair to give you a practice problem in chapter 3. I really like if we go table of contents, chapter 2, and then it's review and practice. I love those. And you've got glossary review, practice multiple choice, practice exercises, practice problem. I love this section because you can do the practice and you get the solution right away. So if you look at the practice brief exercises.
Also, I was looking at the homework questions on the textbook and I couldn't really find the homework questions on the textbook anywhere.
Oh, okay. Let's take a look.
Because I like doing it on paper first and then typing it in.
You should be on campus. You'd be even better for that.
Yeah, I had surgery.
Oh, that's right. You told me that. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's see. Homework problems. So if we go to, let's go here. Let's go find it. Can you see where it says recent announcements?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to look at chapter 2 homework. And here's the list. Did you find this list?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, great. All right. So if we scroll down here, we come to chapter 2. And it says brief exercise 2-1, brief exercise 2-5, 2-10.
Yeah, I see those there, but I can't find it on the textbook, like in the textbook.
Okay, so let's look. Brief exercise 2-1. So we go to our textbook and we go to table of contents and we say End of chapter homework. I think this is too
Oh.
small. Okay, end of chapter homework. And then we
Okay.
come down to brief exercises. Okay, yeah. So here's brief exercise 2-1,
Oh, okay.
2-2. The numbers are different than what you see in your online homework
Okay.
because this is in the order of the book. And when I pick questions, sometimes I don't pick them in the same, I don't pick all the questions that are in the back of your book for homework.
Right.
So here we have 2-1, 2-5, 2-10. Make sure if it says brief exercise, you're on the right. 2-5, 2-6. Let's see, the next one is 2-5, 2-10, 2-11. So you just can look at them ahead of time
Right.
and start working on them. And that's so much better than just opening it up and working on it.
Yeah.
Exercise, keep going, keep going. And then the exercises start.
Okay.
And you can come on the side and just click there too. So we have exercise 2-1. And you can see a lot of it is back to the classified balance sheet.
Okay.
All right, does that help?
Yeah, that helped. Thank you. This really helped.
Okay.
Also, I was wondering, you emailed the dean for my acceptance into your class. Did she revert back to you?
Say the name again.
You emailed the dean, I think, so that I could like be in your class because I was in a different class before, and then you gave me the permission code to enter.
Oh, aren't you in the class?
Yeah, I was supposed to.
Which class?
I was
This
supposed to
class.
be in Give It Low's class, and then you gave me the permission code to join your class,
Let's see. Hang
and
on.
then you emailed me that you had to email this other person.
You know, I haven't double checked to see if you're in. I just assumed you were in. You were not in the class. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's so you're just coming, are you even able to do homework and stuff?
I am. I could do homework and everything.
All right. Because you should have gotten that in a day. You shouldn't be waiting this long.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Oh, you said you were successfully added, you
I
said.
was added. Oh, she said I was added to your class?
You said you sent me an email on 9/23.
Yeah,
You
no, I was
said-
successfully added on Canvas.
Oh, I assumed it was done. So
Yeah, I really wish I was on campus and doing all this rather than sitting at home, but
this says, I said, here is your code. It expires on Wednesday. And you said, I'm successful. You said to me, I am successfully added. So I
to the
assumed
camp.
it was, and that was September 23rd.
Yeah, I was added to this. Wait, could you check if I'm on your class list?
You're not on my class list. Let's go. Let's go look at. And I'm not recording this. I paused it. Let's take a look. So take a look down here.
Because I did enter the code in, but it kept on showing me this error. But then I added you again on, well, it did show me that it was, wait, let me check on CTC link.
Yeah. Hang on, it takes about 13 steps to sign in anymore. Okay. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I said some in your class.
I'm just looking on CTC. Right?
Yeah, I could send it.
Yeah, you're in my class.
Okay, yeah, because I see it too now.
Okay. I think what was confusing me is, yeah, I can see you in the class.
Okay, that's good. I just want to clarify.
Yeah, because you added it already. So it's because your name is odd. It's Roy here, but it's Ashani here.
Yeah, I don't know why that's the case. I need to talk to the administration for them to add my last name.
Do you say it twice?
No, it's just Ashani, Roy.
You can go into Canvas and change that to Roy,
Okay, I'll do that.
and that'll be good. Oh, good. You scared me. I thought, oh no.
Yeah, no, I'm on Canvas, but like, am I on your class, like, like in general?
Let's see.
Like when you need to, like when you need to,
Let's take a look. No, I don't want
like when
that.
you need to like put grades into.
If you're in Canvas, you're good, Shani.
Okay.
You're totally good. I want to make sure.
Because I want to make sure that I get the credit for the class I registered for.
Well, for sure. Let's see. I'm just gonna look at. I want to make sure you're in, and you're able to do.
Yeah, I can do all the homeworks and access all the materials.
I'm just gonna check and make sure you're in here. Yeah, you're in Wiley Plus. You're in the homework. You're in Canvas, and you're in. Now I'm gonna check the grade book just to make sure. So,
Yeah.
yep, you're in the grade book too.
Okay, great.
Well, that's good. Okay.
Okay, that's great. Those were my only questions.
So in terms of, let's see. So what I want you to know how to do, when you read the homework, read the full question. They might give you a list of accounts, and then they might give you a more written instructions. Make sure you read all the instructions. And like I said, when you get stuck, go to the back of the chapter and look at those brief exercises with solutions, and they'll help too.
Okay.
Under the practice tab.
Okay.
So Shawnee, it looks like I forgot to turn the recording off, so I'm gonna have to, after we're done, I'll go into YouTube and I'll just clip that middle section.
Okay.
So you won't be sharing your business with the whole class, so.
That's true. Okay.
So what else? So classified balance sheet, knowing your accounts, know how to do all the ratios. We've got a couple ratios in the chapter. We've got earnings per share, current ratio, and debt to assets. What else?
Also, wait, I remember last quiz, there was this one question that I got wrong. It was about this account period time thing. And I couldn't really understand, like, because was that even in chapter one? Because I don't remember reading it.
Let's take a look.
It was like,
Let's bring up your quiz, and then if you're okay, if I look at it and we can just read that question again. I won't display your quiz.
okay.
But let's see. All right. So you missed one. So which of the following assumptions underlies the present preparation of financial statements assumes that companies will continue operations over time? And you had said accounting period and it should be going concern. Is that the one?
Yeah, I
Okay.
didn't really understand those terms.
So that's one of your vocabulary terms, and it means that when a company prepares statements,
Mhm.
they the reader who reads those statements needs to know that the assumption is it's a going concern. In other words, it's going to continue into the future, as opposed to a company that was getting ready to go bankrupt. The company who was getting ready to go bankrupt would have to disclose that in their statements. Hey, they might not say we are going bankrupt because they may not have made that decision yet, but they would have to disclose, hey, we have a lot of debt. Management is uncertain about whether it can pay it off. They'd have to disclose that
Okay,
because you don't want to lead people on. So
right.
it looks like you did pretty well. So that's great.
I'm just sad that I got that one wrong.
I'm glad you're so conscientious. So, and you have picked your company and
Yeah, I did. When do we know that we're working with a group? Because I don't see, are the group members displayed yet?
can you see them?
Let me check.
You check out on your computer.
Um, I have so many tabs open right now.
I know, I do too. You are on Columbia and the Gap,
Yes.
and you should be able to see your teammates on there. Are you not?
I can check. This, wait. Your companies. Where's the group?
Go to people. Actually, if you
Oh,
don't mind sharing your screen, I can show people what that looks like.
oh, and then groups.
Yeah, why don't you share it?
Okay. Um, what do I share screen? You see, I had a bunch of stuff open, but or there it is. And then I was in this group. No, wait, what group was I? Oh yeah,
It'll tell you. See how it says leave? It means you can
yeah.
switch
I was in
group.
this group, and then I could visit it.
Okay.
I don't
So go
really
back
back.
to the other screen. And now if you want to send an email out to your group,
Uh-huh.
go into inbox, click on inbox. I'll show you how. You don't have to do it. And do compose.
Compose. Yes.
And then select your course. Or no, so click on names. Or no, select course, sorry.
Yeah.
You're taking a lot of classes, okay. And go down to student group.
Oh, okay.
And then there's your group. So
Okay,
click
yeah.
on that. And
Okay, and then all the members are
yeah.
here.
And you can just say, hey, just checking to see that everybody got this, or just say something and say,
Okay.
I guess you have to do you have to put all the names in? I don't know why.
I feel like I could just email one of the person for now and then bring in the group.
Usually there's an option for the whole group.
Okay. Okay. Okay, those are my
Okay.
only questions.
Okay. Yeah,
Thank
it's a
you.
good idea to reach out and just say, hey, checking in with everybody, you know, make sure you're all on the same page and so forth.
Yeah. Thank you, though. This was really helpful.
Yeah, and then for the rest of the chapter and your quiz tonight,
Yes, I'll do that. Thank you.
so one more thing that I want you guys to be ready for, if you, let me share my screen.
Okay.
And there's some practice problems that come up. And you really want to make sure you understand this is it right here. Let's see if I can. Here we go. These are practice problems where you start with a counting equation, and we use this expanded accounting equation. And we're going to learn more about that in chapter 3. But essentially, the simple accounting equation is assets equals liabilities plus stockholders' equity.
Okay.
And then I expand it over here. But like if I say 800 is assets, 500 are liabilities, you should know the combined common stock and retained earnings should be 300. So we have 6 problems here, and it's just testing you on your understanding of that relationship. So it's basically algebra problems. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank
Anything
you.
else?
No, that was it.
All right. Well, then I'll say goodbye, and I'll stay online for a few more minutes in case people pop in for a last minute question. But see you later.
Bye. I really
Bye-bye.
appreciate your
I appreciate
time.
your questions. All right. See you later.
Bye.